Hi guys, and welcome to my review of the Zelotes optical mouse. Now I've purchased this from Amazon. As you can probably tell from my accent, I'm in the UK, so this cost £10, and it's really not a bad mouse for £10. So I'm just opening it now, and let's see what's inside. So immediately we can see the wire of the mouse. It's a nice looking threaded cord, so it looks like it will withstand a fair bit of use. Inside there's a little tiny manual, just a printed sheet. I've read a lot of other people's reviews that say they got a CD with theirs for installing the software. There doesn't appear to be any software with mine. The manual is in English and German, so as long as you're fluent in either one of those languages, you're okay. The manual doesn't give you too much information except for how to use the DPI button and change the LEDs. And I'll apologise in advance, I'm using a camera phone to do this review rather than my camera on a tripod, which I haven't set up in here yet. So another look at that cable, and it does look very good quality for such a cheap mouse. So let's take a look at the mouse itself. It has an almost a vulcanized rubber feel to it, so it's fairly tactile. It comes with a little protective sheet across the part that says "for the game," just to keep that nice and grease free, I guess. And there's plenty of buttons on here. Now the buttons do make a clicking sound when you click them, so it's not a silent mouse. So if you're looking for a silent mouse, this isn't the one for you. Also, if you're really adverse to spiders, probably not for you either. So it's got a very nice feel to it. Your fingers are quite laid forward on this mouse. Now I use a Logitech as well, which I'll show you in a bit, and it's very different. Now the cable's relatively good length, I'd say probably 2 meters, and there's my Logitech mouse next to it. So with my Logitech mouse, my fingers are much more bent over, which I don't know whether it's just because I've been using it for years, but it feels more natural to me. Pressing the DPI button, we've got several settings, and they're reflected in the colours, which you will see a little bit later on in this review. And underneath you can see it's a traditional optical mouse rather than a laser mouse. You could fit skates to it, but it doesn't seem to need them at the moment. And as you can see on the Logitech, that's a laser mouse, so there's no red light given off because it uses an infrared laser. So it's got a reasonably good feel. I'm just showing you me moving it on the mouse on my computer at the moment. I'm going to switch over in a second to a screen grab where I will demonstrate the differences in the DPI settings. There we go, just using the magic wand tool there to show that you can select different parts, and it's very nearly the same quality as the Logitech in the DPI setting it's on at the moment, which I believe is one of the mid-range ones. So now we've gone over to one of my screen grabs, so I'm in Photoshop at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test the red setting, which is the first setting in the options, which is 1000 DPI. So what I'll do is I'll just drag this over here so you can see it, and then let's go down to the paintbrush tool, try and draw, and then realise that I need to create a new layer to do that. And I'm just going to freehand draw a little face. It's pretty good. I'm getting fairly accurate circles on this. You know, I'd be more than happy using this mouse in a working environment on this DPI setting. So let's just stick a nose on here and a mouth. He's looking a little bit worried, like he's done something wrong. And 2 little eyebrows. There we go. So let's move up to the next setting now. So this is the green setting, which is 1600 dpi. So I'll just write that down. Now, what I have found with this mouse is that the lower settings seem to be a little bit more user-friendly because there's less erratic movement. And I would guess that's just because the optical sensor isn't picking up as much and can ignore some of the things it's going over. So my guess would be if you're using the higher settings, you're going to need a much cleaner surface. I mean, I'm using a glass mouse mat, so it is pretty good for that. So that's the green setting, and my face came out reasonably good. So now we're going to move on to the next setting, which is 2400 dpi, and that's the blue LED. If I can type it. Oops. Okay, so I'll just move this over again. Oops, misclicked. And as you can see, the drawing is becoming a little bit less smooth with the higher DPI settings. But still reasonable. So let's move up to the next one, which is the violet light. Although it's a kind of pinky colour. I'll draw a cube first just to show straight lines. I'm not very good at cubes. There we go. Okay, so back onto the pink or violet setting. The manual calls it violet, so this one is 3200 dpi. So let's have a go at drawing a face with this one. I'll just select the brush again. Oh, just get it straight first. There we go, now back to the brush. Okay, it's a lot more erratic at this point. I'm going to draw a clenched face this time. And it's not quite going where I want it to, but that could just be me. Oops. Yeah, that was much harder. So let's try the final setting, which is the yellow light, and that's 7200 dpi. Okay, it's feeling a little bit all over the place now. Just put in my new layer and let's try drawing a face. Well, that's not round at all. Okay, I'm drawing this one as a bit cross-eyed just to show that it's a little bit wacky. A quick view of the Amazon page shows that this mouse received 4.5 out of 5 stars and is £10. I'd say that's a pretty accurate assessment. It is going to replace my my Logitech, but only because the battery's damaged. So guys, let me know what you think. Post in the comments section, subscribe, and please share my video, and I will keep doing reviews. So let me know what you want to see next. Thanks a lot.